Contemplating a war in Asia is troubling enough, but considering the possibility of a nuclear conflict is even more daunting. Nevertheless, it is a necessary exercise. Recently, Andrew Metrick, Philip Shears, and Stacey Pettyjohn from the Center for a New American Security convened a group of experts for a tabletop exercise, a form of wargaming, to analyze how a nuclear war between the United States and China might unfold. The findings were far from reassuring. In the scenario crafted for the exercise, set in 2032, a conflict over Taiwan has been ongoing for 45 days. China resorts to using theater nuclear weapons, smaller, shorter-range devices intended to compel the United States to capitulate and bring the war to a swift conclusion. Key targets include Guam and Kwajalein Atoll, both crucial to America's military presence in the Pacific, as well as an American aircraft carrier strike group. This scenario is disturbingly plausible. One contributing factor is the geography of the Asian theater. During the Cold War, both the United States and the Soviet Union planned to deploy numerous tactical nuclear weapons to eliminate large dispersed troop formations, often near urban areas. However, as the study points out, today in the Pacific, naval vessels at sea and military air bases on small islands present a vastly different target. This shift means fewer nuclear weapons would be needed, resulting in less civilian harm compared to Cold War-era strikes. Another factor is the advancement of weaponry. Many people reasonably perceive conventional weapons as less escalatory and therefore more usable than nuclear ones. However, today's low-yield nuclear weapons, around 20 kilotons, similar to the Hiroshima bomb, can be deployed with high precision and minimal collateral damage. CNAS notes, the distinction between low-yield tactical nuclear weapons and precision-guided conventional weapons in terms of their operational effects and perceived impact is becoming increasingly blurred. The prolonged nature of a conflict also plays a significant role. As weeks pass, both sides would likely deplete their conventional arsenals, making theater nuclear weapons more appealing. The authors observed that on a per-weapon basis, nuclear arms are more efficient at destroying large-area targets. Their immense power means they would remain effective even if weeks of warfare had compromised the command, control, and intelligence systems that conventional munitions depend on. The outcome of the war game revealed a peculiar form of nuclear conflict. China might feel compelled to use nuclear weapons first, despite its official no-first-use policy. However, contrary to expectations of an apocalyptic exchange of strategic nuclear weapons reminiscent of a US-Soviet war in Europe, the situation did not necessarily escalate to that level. In the realm of nuclear strategists, this is considered a positive development. The exercises indicated that China had more reasons for optimism. The experts simulating China's position had access to a wide array of military targets, as Asia is filled with American facilities and naval assets, though there is little evidence that China currently possesses low-yield nuclear weapons. In contrast, the American team faced challenges, as many of the most appealing targets for retaliation were located on the Chinese mainland. Striking these targets with tactical nuclear weapons would significantly increase the risk of escalating to a full-scale nuclear war. Additionally, the participants discovered that the US lacked the necessary weapons to target the very small number of lower-risk targets, primarily warships and Chinese bases on disputed reefs in the South China Sea. By day 45, the US's most advanced non-nuclear missiles would have been exhausted. Unlike Russia, the US no longer possesses a nuclear-tipped anti-ship missile. A new submarine-launched nuclear cruise missile is expected to be available in the 2030s, but it could not be used for signaling to deter Chinese nuclear use without revealing its location. Moreover, it would occupy valuable attack submarines during a naval conflict. Nuclear strategy has its own grim lexicon, shaped by Cold War assumptions and the evolution of military technology. Ultimately, it boils down to political considerations. Faced with the potential nuclear annihilation of 5,000 American sailors on a carrier or a nuclear strike on American territory like Guam, would a US president respond with nuclear force, reach for a dwindling supply of conventional weapons, or capitulate? The authors acknowledge that this is the fundamental, unknowable component.